I spoke to Danny Kemp, one of the journalists who was in the Oval Office for that incredible meeting. I started by asking if he'd ever seen its like before.
No, I've never witnessed anything like that. It was truly extraordinary. It was jaw-dropping. I mean, for the first 40 minutes or so, things were fairly normal, and then suddenly things got really out of hand. They really escalated very quickly. We heard J.D. Vance, who was kind of his President Trump's attack dog, really going at Zelenskyy. Zelenskyy getting quite defensive, and then President Trump just jumped in, and it was, in a way, it was a bit like watching a playground fight, or almost like watching the parents fight. It was almost a bit embarrassing. Really, you know, this has now become a fight for Ukraine's future, being played out on TV in the Oval Office, the symbolic heart of the US presidency.
Do you think that J.D. Vance's intervention was the moment where you saw something unfold which was potentially pre-planned?
I think there's definitely a possibility that Vance had to plan to say something and planned an intervention on that. To what extent that it was all completely choreographed, that they really meant to start a row with Zelenskyy, I'm not so sure. The raw emotion on show, I think, from President Trump as he became, you know, visibly angry, almost red-faced, gave Zelenskyy a kind of light shove on the top of the arm. These are the kinds of things that are emotions that are quite hard to manufacture. I'm not entirely convinced that the whole thing would have been choreographed, no.
What did you make of the way Zelenskyy reacted?
Zelenskyy did his best to stay calm. I think initially he seemed a little taken aback. There was one point when you could see him sort of crossing his arms. He was certainly engaging with the arguments and very keen to make his point. At one point he said to J.D. Vance, you know, just by talking loudly you're not necessarily making your point. But it wasn't so much that he was raising his voice, that was really up to the Americans that were doing that.
And Danny, what was it like when the cameras stopped rolling? What happened in the room?
Well, we were ushered out very quickly by the White House handlers who were keen to, you know, get what was left of the meeting underway. President Trump on the way out said, well, you know, at least this is going to make great television. And on the way out, certainly between us reporters, we were a few, you know, raised eyebrows and, I mean, astonishment really that we'd just watched this historic and bizarre scene playing out in front of our eyes.
Well, we're really grateful for you painting the picture for us, Danny Kemp. Thank you very much indeed for talking to us. Thanks.